Hi. Saying thank you is very important. So important, in fact, that I decided to do it in 9 languages with a scroll saw. Ready, set? Here we go. In early February of 2025, not too long ago, I retired from full-time employment at a little company called Chobani. I wanted to say thank you to the owner of Chobani, the founder, Hamdi Ulukaya, for starting the company because I really enjoyed my experience working there. I enjoyed the very diverse group of employees that I had the pleasure of working with, and didn't want this to be just from me. I thought that he might appreciate it more if I could express thank you from all of the employees. The majority of people that work at Chobani speak English. Hamdi is from Turkey, so I wanted to incorporate Turkish. That left 7 languages yet to flesh out my design. So I asked the HR department for the 7 most common languages that are spoken and incorporated those into the design. Okay, so we've got 2 drill bits here, one at a 16th and one at an 8th. I'm going to use the 16th on these small ones and the 8th on the rest of them, and get ready to do some scroll saw work. Here we go. That's not good. Long straight cuts with the scroll saw is not the best idea. Guess what happens when you try to run a table saw and 2 electric heaters on one 15-amp breaker? I know. You ready? All right, so I don't know how this is gonna work out, but I'm at my friend Doug's house. Doug at Pole Barn Productions, my good friend here. We're gonna try to cut this out on his scroll saw because I haven't done so good on mine. All right, so thank you, Doug, for helping me out with this, and let's see what we can do. All right, here we go.
Use your error at your house, right?
All right. So this device,
You can slide that pedal out anywhere you
Doug's-
want to. Yeah.
don't
I
touch
said
it.
slide it out. Don't stand on it.
So this is, I'm not sure how this is gonna work. It's going quite well.
That's better one direction too. So if you're pushing into the blade,
Yeah.
that's better. See how I used up on it?
Yep.
There you go.
This new saw is a significant upgrade from the previous one. Where the other one I could pick it up by the arm and carry it easily, this one requires two hands and it's a challenge. When starting a new word, it's important to do the insides of the letters before you do the outsides, because otherwise you couldn't hang on to the little letters while you're cutting the inside. This bit right here is shown in real time, so you can see kind of how long it takes in real time. This right here is 500 times normal speed. The painter's tape pulled the image right off the paper. So after pulling this off of there with that green painter's tape, I printed this one off and I thought I would just line up the holes, but they're not quite exactly the same. So, and I went looking for another piece of this satin wood because I have a big piece, and it turns out that the big piece of satin wood is in Shop West, if you know where that is, out in Michigan. So I'm going to cut this into pieces and glue it onto what's left here and start over again. Okay, so the manufacturer of this sweet scroll saw that I picked up at the Harbor Freight says that the proper blade tension is a C6 at 1047 hertz. I looked it up on YouTube and here's what we have. And here's our tension. I sanded the paper template off the top of each letter prior to gluing it down because I didn't want to risk knocking them over afterwards. Coating the entire surface with CA glue does two things. It minimizes air coming out of the wood into the resin, and it minimizes staining of the lighter wood with the darker colored resin. Notice this is a different respirator. My orange respirator is for dust. This one with the cartridges is for fumes, vapors, that type of thing. Thank you, Doug, for the tray. It fits my 5-gallon pressure pot perfectly, and I don't think I could have finished the job without it. Thank you so much. I purchased the Fathom resin for this because I needed something that would allow me to do a deep pour. Boy, I don't know how much of this to use. The torch is like a magic eraser for air bubbles. All right, here we go. Well, looks pretty good, huh? All right, let's get it out of there. All right, I was just gonna change those filters in my respirator without recording it, but why not record it? We can have a conversation about personal safety. So these are the old filters. As you can see, there's a pretty thick layer of dust and dirt on those. This is the inside of the respirator. Where on the outside of the filter, you see that's the dust. This is the inside. We're going to put a couple of clean filters in there and clean this up. All right, here we go. Let's see, let's put them face up. There we are. Okay, so the table must not have been very level because we have a difference. This was the downhill side, so it leveled off this way. It's very thick here. It's a little thinner here. We're going to flatten it off. First, we're going to flatten the bottom. We're going to put a glue block on there, or glue a piece of sacrifice wood on there, so I can mount it on the lathe. Gonna turn this flat and see where we go from there. See it hit? That's why you always turn it by hand after you adjust the tool rest to make sure it doesn't hit. This is why I always wear hearing protection. Let's sharpen those gouges. Denatured alcohol helps break the bond of the hot melt glue. Almost all of the turning footage is at 1,000 times the speed it was recorded at. The plywood seemed very hard. I think it was probably penetrated some by the resin. I was going to put a mortise in the bottom of it, but then I didn't think I'd like the look of it through the translucent resin. Plus, it's pretty thin. The sanding paste sands it to about 1200 grit. The goal here is to make the top absolutely flat, or as close as I can reasonably get it. I'd like to thank those of you that are watching right now for tuning into this episode of my channel. I really appreciate it. If it's your first time here, you might consider subscribing to the channel. If you've liked the video, please like it. And the very best thing you can do, other than sharing, is to comment. Just a simple comment to say hi or something like that makes the algorithm love it. All right, thank you so very much. Oops. I'm actually thrilled that this plate came out as well as it did. There's a special kind of thing that happens when you have an idea in your head and you can make it physical. I can't describe it, but it's amazing. For those of you that may have never seen this before, I'm changing the jaws on my chuck to what's known as cold jaws. The rubber bits hold the piece firmly, but I have to change it because I don't have two chucks. But this is what we do. Have fun. Here I'm rounding off the edge with my router table. These pieces here are the map to how to make the channel in the base. Fortunately, the Padauk disc is almost the same thickness, virtually, as the 1/2-inch plywood, so I can use that as a base for my handheld trim router. The orange spacer allows me to move the side-to-side guide forward and back so that I can make the groove wide enough so that the plate will tip back a little bit. I either lost the footage or didn't record me putting lacquer on the base, but it's coated with lacquer. Slow rollers after the logo. Well, here it is. So, English, Turkish, Karen, Vietnamese, Burmese, Nepalese, Spanish, Somali, Arabic. Oh, there you go. So, hopefully, the recipient is going to enjoy it, and I can't wait to get it in his hands. Thanks for watching. Remember, be nice to each other. If you'd like me to make something custom just for you, head over to www.claytonswoodart.com, hit that contact page, and let's have a discussion about me making something custom just for you. Thank you, Hamdi. I appreciate it. Have a great day.